But I was told many, many times that, oh, we're going to get you home. That never happened. So there was a time that I felt like, do you know what? I'm not even going to trust you because I've been told many, many times that I'm going to be taken home. But that never happened. I mean, how many foreign secretaries does it take for someone to come home? 5? It should have been one of them eventually. So now here we are. What's happened now should have happened 6 years ago.
Nazanin was flown back to the UK after the government settled an historic £400 million debt owed to Iran over a cancelled 1970s order for British tanks. She challenged the government to explain why it hadn't paid the debt sooner.
So I didn't know the details at the time, but I think it was the week 2 or week 3 that I was arrested, like 6 years ago, that they told me, we want something off the Brits, we will not let you go until such time that we get it. And they did keep their promise.
You know, the whole point of that press conference was for her to have her say and to talk for the first time about her lived experience. And I think it was absolutely correct and proper that she didn't feel the need to sort of sugarcoat anything. And that said, she was really gracious, really dignified. When you think what she's been through, undeniably that woman it's going to take years to get over this. I mean, when she used the language about I have to get to know my daughter, it was absolutely heartbreaking.
But is there, hang on the debt, can the UK justify not paying it? And the reason I say that is, let's say you're looking at Germany in the 30s, right? And they paid us for some weapons, and then Hitler takes over. We would have said, we're really sorry. A, we're keeping the money, and B, we're not giving you the weapons. Is this in any way comparable?
I think the minute she was taken and they bought it up, they should have paid it. Is it comparable?
No, you don't think so?
I don't think so.
You don't think they should have just paid it?
It's not as simple as that. They should have paid the money back.
Here's the point. It's not as simple as that. And the reason that we're seeing the complications here, and on the first thing I would say is waiting 6 years, as an individual incarcerated, horrendous, I totally get it and I understand it. That having been said, when you have international sanctions that are signed up by a number of countries, and in particular with the US, you're going to have to get permission from the US to do this. So you've got to look at the oil. You've got to look at what's happening in Ukraine. You've got to look at international politics as to what's freed up all this stuff.
I thought that was an excuse for us not paying. Oh, we can't pay your money because of sanctions.
But you also have to look at the agreement that they did. And the agreement that they did is that the money that they handed out, the way that they got around the sanctions was, one, the US finally agreed to do it because there are other considerations going on. And secondly, because that money apparently is going to be used for humanitarian purposes only.
Which is nonsense, isn't it? I mean,
it is nonsense.
Let's say we say all our money has to go to medicine. But the Iranians then say, well, OK, we'll take the British money and we'll spend it on medicines, and the money we would have spent on medicines we'll spend on missiles. So that doesn't make any sense. Sorry, you go on.
I'm wondering, very cynically, whether they've paid it now because of the oil crisis.
Of course, it's not cynical at all. It's exactly because America have realised that this had to be sorted out, and that if, for example, we need to get extra oil, you might have to do it through the back door. Iran is off the pariah list. There are people who are, in terms of relativity...
right now.
Yes, right now.
To me, I mean, they hang people from cranes
for
being
reasons.
Gay.
Yeah, but there are lots of reasons why Iran should be on that list, but there are lots of reasons why there are other countries who are further up, and there are further things. The tectonic plates of the world organisation and how we deal with interacting with different countries, all of that thing, it's all changed.
Let's have a look at a tweet from the former Foreign Secretary Jeremy Hunt. He said this: those criticising Nazanin have got it so wrong. She doesn't owe us gratitude. We owe her an explanation. She's absolutely right. It took too long to bring her home. He was the Foreign Secretary, so he said, I tried my best, as did the others. But if trying our best took 6 years, we must be honest and say the problem should have been solved earlier.
Good for him.
I wonder if he's having a crack at Boris there.
Well, of course he is, but there's another point here.
Yes.
There's another point here which is really important, which is, and I'm afraid one has to ask the question, what was she doing going there in the first place? I know that the FCO changed their advice. But when you escape from a country that has this kind of regime, you never go back. That's
not the question that I was going to raise. I'm not victim blaming here. My thing was that Boris Johnson was one of the foreign secretaries, and he complicated the case massively when, as ever, he went over and blundered it up.
Well, he said she was training journalists. Yeah, she was training journalists.
And who knows? I mean, the BBC denied it and said that they weren't, and all that sort of stuff.
Is the point here that she's allowed to say exactly what she wants because she went on holiday and didn't come back?
Yes, because personally speaking, I totally get it. But I think from a national perspective, that when humans become pawns of an international situation, it is way more complicated.
So you say she shouldn't have gone there?
I don't
Iran.
think she should have gone in the first place, in the sense that, if, of course, she wants to see her parents on a personal level. I totally get it.
Yeah.
Of course, she would wish to, but you must understand, even if the FCO have changed their advice and said, well, go now, you should still look at the risks and realise.